Good morning. Welcome to our Rita group. We have we've installed fiber optics now here, so hopefully the transmission has improved. Also, we received a donation from a Sangha member named Adam. It's not here yet, but he offered a new microphone, so it's here. It's here, but it's not installed. So, anyway. We're improving our infrastructure here daily, so hopefully the transmission reaches you more clearly and with better sound quality. We were just having a conversation here about this time that we're in, and it seems like the COVID is increasing in its levels of infection. And it's just important to remember at this time. I always remember Rinpoche saying, Rinpoche would say, if you hold your pee all night, it doesn't make any sense to pee the bed when you wake up in the morning. So we've all been 9 or 10 months really trying to be disciplined and do the social distancing and good hygiene and quarantining when it's necessary and contact tracing, etc. So now all of a sudden this week, the vaccine is starting to be distributed. People are starting to receive it, first responders, the elderly. And so now's the time that not to relax, but the time to really redouble your efforts and be extra careful. And if we can just hold on to our discipline for the next 2 or 3 months, then I believe that this thing is going to start to die down because of the vaccine. So anyway, it's hard. It's been hard for everybody, but I think that the end is in sight. So just hang in there and be really careful during this holiday season. That's the most important thing, because maybe we won't see our relatives for one Christmas season, but then we can see them for many more to come. So let's go ahead and do our reading this morning. We're continuing contemplating the meaning of the accomplishment prayer written by Khenpo Naga. And last week we were considering the states that are called devoid of leisure to practice. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the part of the prayer that concerns the ripening of karma. So from the ripening of, it says in the text, from the ripening of karma caused by delusion, grant the blessing that shields, protects, and conceals. So this reminds us that all of our karma is caused by delusion or confusion, mental confusion, not seeing things how things truly are. So for a person or a being who is completely beyond this sort of mental confusion and constantly remaining within the mind's natural awareness, phenomena arise and dissolve in and of themselves without leaving karmic traces. As Chagdud Rinpoche sometimes said, it's similar to riding on water. So if you can imagine that image of riding on water, when your finger goes through the water, it leaves a ripple and immediately dissolves with no trace left behind. Another thing that Chagdud Rinpoche would say is that ordinary people consume experience like eating grain and leaving the husk of the grain. He said practitioners experience consuming the grain and leaving no husk behind. So that's when you're completely undiluted, free of ignorance and confusion, you don't leave these karmic traces behind, these karmic stains behind. A question often is asked why one should pray for the blessing from Tara that conceals one or protects one from one's own karma. Consider the fact that we have experienced countless cycles of existence, that we cannot remember most of them. Most people cannot even clearly remember their childhood or even what they had for lunch last week. And we cannot know what kind of karma we have created until it ripens. So when we begin spiritual practice and the purification of negative karma, we pray that past karma does not suddenly ripen and create massive obstacles that we cannot overcome at our level of practice. For example, one of the karmic results of killing is a short life. Who of us can say with confidence that in past lives we have never been a soldier caught in the violence of war, or a hunter trying to provide for our family, or an animal predating on other animals? If the full force of the karma of such a rebirth were to intervene, we might die before our connection to spiritual practice could become well established. Death's interruption of life would then represent a lost or greatly delayed opportunity and much more suffering. So request Tara, protection, and concealment until karmic obstacles are within the reach of our ability to purify them and become a source of realization rather than of samsaric suffering. We should not make this request in the expectation that all obstacles will disappear. The very nature of human rebirth is that of sickness, old age, and death, and even great bodhisattvas are subject to these conditions. However, their experience of illness is very different from that of an ordinary person, or even a less realized practitioner. For them, obstacles arise and subside within the sphere of non-dual awareness. Their ability to purify obstacles benefits all living beings. Rinpoche also commented that great practitioners, while most of us, if we really think about it, we fear death, perhaps dread the idea of dying, Rinpoche would say a great practitioner looks forward to dying, not because they don't enjoy life or benefit in beings, but because it's a chance for them to test their level of realization.